Okay.
I did, by the way.
Okay. Well, then I was going to ask what it is, but I won't spoil it for the live
don't
listeners
spoil it.
now.
It's not that great.
I don't know if I picked anything. I scoured the web, though, for
Abby,
what to do.
I need you to go somewhere else. All right, I'm trying to get to the YouTube page for Le Chat.
Yeah. What are you drinking? A Diet Coke?
Let me get in the chat. Hey,
On,
Taryn, can you drop the AC to 78 at least, please?
Where's Taryn?
She's coming.
All right.
Don't worry about it.
Well, I get nervous.
If she wasn't coming, you had to leave?
Yeah.
I can't be here.
Should I play this for the...
Okay, the audio's working, so that's good. I think. What is this? What song is that?
No.
It's Happily Ever After Fireworks from the Magic Kingdom.
Is it really, though?
Yes.
No.
Hi, Jeremy.
Hi, Taryn.
I feel like it's been forever. I don't even remember who you are.
Yeah.
It's the first time since forever.
I hate that song so much now.
And I don't know who you are. And I know.
It was like really cool at first, and now I'm just so over it.
What?
Let It Go. Every
All
song
things
on Frozen.
Everything Frozen.
Everything.
Oh, yeah, that is from Frozen, isn't it?
It's all from Frozen. Yeah.
I have a fat old lady fan because it's really hot here.
Nice.
Well, don't you have like a house fan, or like a box, like a spinny fan?
It's so loud.
A spinny fan.
A spinny fan.
You know those spinny
One of
fans?
those spinny fans.
It's 7:30. By 8 o'clock, it'll drop like 10 degrees, and I'll be fine. I live near the water.
The desert or the water.
I live on the water.
Bev on the water.
Oh,
Wow.
Jeremy's got glasses. It's nice.
The readers. We're just waiting on Tracy.
Cool, cool.
Oh, I'm here.
Oh, Tracy,
Oh.
what's up? Hey, sorry. It doesn't.
Hey, no worries. I didn't know if we were on or not.
Oh yeah, well, no, we're live, but we're not recording. That's kind of how we make sure the audio. We've had so
okay.
many audio issues before
Yeah.
before the
Got it.
show, so we just sort of go live. I'm sorry because you're not on video. I didn't see that you were in the room, so I'm like, oh, we're just hanging out.
Oh, no worries.
Okay, well, so I guess we'll start the show. Is everybody ready?
Think we're ready.
All right, cool.
Yep.
Jeremy, I don't care if you're ready.
Okay.
All right, so Tracy, I'm just gonna play the music, and then it's a whole thing. It'll be fine. Everything will be all right.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, here we go.
It's time for the show that brings the magic right to your speakers. Ears up!
Hey, everybody, welcome back. Ears Up Podcast. Here we go on July 9th, 2020, or the Forever Night, I think is what this year is going to be known as from now on. It's
basically.
It's the year that never ends. Which is, I don't know, it's fine, I guess. Oop, that was a bad fade out.
It's almost like every month that never ends.
Yeah, pretty much. It is hard to imagine that we would ever make it to July, to be completely honest.
because of COVID or
Yeah, just the lockdown, because like, I don't know, just figuring out what's happening in your life month to month. You're like, God, April is never going to end.
Yeah.
And then suddenly you look and it's July. You're like, oh, okay. Well, I guess time does actually still continue to move.
I'm scared.
March lasted for 8 years, April for 9, and then
It really
June was flew.
It really is that.
May and June was just like,
Yeah, it was real fast. It really is that scene in The Jerk where he's like, the first day felt just like a day, but the second day felt like 2 days. And then by the third day was a week. And the fourth day was just a day because you were visiting your parents. But the fifth day.
I just remember in March or like April when they extended it. Remember, it was like 15 days to flatten the curve. And then they like extended it. They were like, well, we're going to add another 15. And
Yeah.
then it was like rumblings like, this could go till June, guys. And I was like, I can't do June. And like, here we are in the middle of July.
Yeah, Jeremy hibernated in the Hamptons for June.
I know. Dang, girl.
I did. I got out of here.
There you go. Well, good riddance.
job.
Yeah. We have a good show for you guys today. Jeremy is on, of course, obviously, because he's going to be telling us things to do at the Disney resorts without actually going into the parks, which is sort of timely, especially with Disney World opening here, next week, I think, right? You're probably going to be spending more time at the resorts, I would imagine, or at the hotels, I would imagine, than the resort, because not everything's going to be open, or I actually don't really know. So we'll get
I
into
thought
that.
Disney World opened today.
I don't think so. Did it?
Yeah,
Oh,
it
you
did
did. You're
open
right.
today.
I'm sorry. You're right.
Yeah.
I don't know. Look, who can keep track?
It's not like you have a Disney podcast.
No, who cares
Right.
anymore? And look, in my defense, it's a Disneyland podcast.
True.
I'm still figuring out that Disney World is in this country.
Ah.
Yeah. But before we get into all that, Jeremy, I apologize. We have Tracy Timmer on the line from the Walt Disney Family Museum. If you remember, we had Tracy on a little bit ago to talk about the Happily Ever After Hours virtual series of talks they were doing. So Tracy was kind enough to join us tonight to talk a little bit about something else that's happening at the museum. Tracy, how you doing?
I'm great. Thanks for having me.
Perfect. Yeah, thanks for getting on. I appreciate you spending some time with us.
Yeah, no worries.
So I read recently that you guys have a brand new app. The Walt Disney Family
we
Museum
do.
mobile app. Yeah, can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, so it's kind of been my pet project for the last 2 years. We've been working on it.
Nice.
But it actually couldn't have come out at a better time with the closure and COVID. So it's a new interactive app, and it includes kind of the basics like translated audio guides. So we previously had 6 languages in our audio guide, and now we've added 6 more. So we have 12 languages that we now offer for our galleries, including American Sign Language.
Oh, wow.
And we also really wanted to use the app as a way to make the museum a lot more accessible for people with disabilities. So probably the thing that I'm most proud of with the app is our audio describe tour. So it's a tour through the galleries for people with blindness and low vision. So it explains what a lot of our visual pieces are for people that might not be able to see. And it also, explains where barriers are that you might run into or where stairs are, and it really takes you through the galleries step by step. So we have added that, and we've also added things like we're going to have scavenger hunts and, more kind of fun activities for kids once we reopen. For the time being during COVID, it's actually worked out really well because we put a virtual tour on there. So if you're stuck at home and missing the museum, or maybe if you live far away and have never had a chance to get to the museum, you can actually experience the museum virtually with our new virtual tour.
Wow.
And we've also added our virtual exhibition, which is a brand new thing that we have done since our closure, where we actually have put art from the community that people have submitted into our a 3D version of our special exhibition. So you can actually walk through that gallery and see the art that people have submitted on the walls,
Wow.
which is really cool. It's called The World of Tomorrow, and the theme is Your Vision for Tomorrow.
How do you
that's
submit? Because
all on the app.
I'm something of an artist myself, so not really. But.
So it's already closed. The exhibition is done, but we do hope to have more in the future. So you have to stay tuned for that.
Okay, I like that. That's really cool. Getting it because you guys are very tied into the community, but I feel like giving not only people essentially a free virtual tour of the museum, but something else to sort of tie them in with the greater art community. I think it's a natural fit.
Yeah, it's been really fun, and it's like I said, it's kind of the perfect time for us to release this app during this time when we're closed. So it gives you a way to experience the museum without actually having to be there, and it'll continue. Even once we reopen, there's probably a lot of people that won't feel safe coming into a museum, and they can still experience it at home. So.
That's me, 100%. So you go to just the Apple or Google Play app stores and you search WDFM. I got that right? Okay.
WDFM or the Walt Disney Family Museum. Either way, it'll come up.
Okay. Perfect. I love it. I think that's cool. And then the main thing I want to talk to you about is what you guys are doing for Disneyland's 65th anniversary, which is on July 17th. Apparently, what is it? Next Friday? Yeah.
Yes, it is next Friday. It came up really quick. So we just announced this today. And we've planned basically a full day of virtual offerings. So it is kind of in line with our Happily Ever After Hours, except it's going to be all day. So we're kicking it off with Camille Dixon and Bill Rogers, who are the voices of Disneyland and California Adventure, respectively. Wow. And we've worked with them on a few things over the years, and they're just wonderful people. So they're going to be reading questions that people can submit. You can submit this through our website if you go to the event page on our website. And people are submitting their favorite memories from Disneyland. And Bill and Camille are going to read it out loud. They're also going to be taking some Q&A and whatnot, and they might have a couple special surprises up their sleeve as well. So we're kicking off the day with that at noon, and then we're following that with a production of Disneyland home movies that were taken from opening day. They're colored home videos, and it's actually from the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences archive.
Oh, okay.
And Randy Haberkamp is going to be presenting it. He works for the Academy, and he actually did a program on this with us back in October, which feels like ages ago now. So that it's a really amazing footage. I've seen it a few times now, and it's really cool to see opening day in color like that. Because even, a lot of the videos we see of Walt on opening day are in black and white. Mm-hmm. So after that, we have a spotlight talk with one of our staff members, Chris Mullen, who's an amazing storyteller. And he's going to be giving a spotlight talk on our Disneyland model that you see. It's one of our last galleries in the museum, and it's the Disneyland of Walt's imagination, we'll call it. And if you've been to the museum, I'm sure you know it well. But it was a scale model that was made specifically for the museum. So he'll be giving a talk on that. And then after that, we'll have some fun Disneyland trivia, which I'm sure a lot of people will get very competitive about.
Already, I'm going to win. I just know it.
Yeah. After that, we're replaying our first ever Happily Ever After Hours, which was with Disney legend and Imagineer Bob Kerr.
Oh, man.
So you may have caught that, but a lot of people didn't know about our Happily Ever After Hours in the very beginning. So we're hoping people who didn't get to catch it then could see it now.
Yeah.
And of course, Bob Kerr. No one knows more about Disneyland than Bob Kerr.
Yeah.
So.
Oh my GERD. GERD, because it's okay.
Oh man.
Yeah.
And then after that, we are doing a Happily Ever After Hours with Imagineer Chris Crump, and he is also Rolly Crump's son.
Right.
Yeah, so we've had him also before for a program, and he has done some amazing work at Disneyland. Of course, he's going to be talking about working with his dad and his dad's history as well. So that should be a lot of fun. And then we're finishing it off with a very special announcement. So make sure you stay tuned for that. We're keeping it a surprise for right now. but you'll want to hear what it is. And of course, this is a very long day. I realize that it's noon to 5, it's 5 hours long. So we are going to be replaying this afterwards.
Good.
But the great thing about it is it's totally free. You can watch it on our Facebook page. And it's going to be a lot of fun. We're really excited.
Yeah, that sounds excellent. I would love to talk to Chris. His dad, that Rolly Crump show that we did is still like my favorite show because he knew how to tell a story. And if Chris is anything like his dad, that's got to be a great little thing. Wow.
Yeah. He's a lot of fun, and so is Rolly.
Yes.
Yeah, Rolly's a kick in the pants, man, for sure.
Do you have to sign up or anything, or you just log on to Facebook and anybody can watch it?
Yeah, anyone can watch it. We're not doing signups like we normally would for our Happily Ever After Hours. It's just going to be up on our social media, so anyone can join in.
Cool.
Excellent. How are the Happily Ever After Hours going? People seem
they've been great.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've really taken off. We kind of have found our stride over the last however many months now, and we've gotten some really amazing guests, and we're not stopping anytime soon. We're gonna keep going for as long as we can. So, yeah, they've been really great.
I think they're cool. I've seen the one. You guys were super kind enough to send me the link for the Dave Goelz talk. And I lost my mind. I lost my mind sitting there watching this talk because when Dave's talking, he's the voice of the great Gonzo and a bunch of other people. And sometimes he sort of like, I don't know how much of Gonzo slips into how he talks or vice versa, but you can sort of hear him when he puts emphasis on words. You're like, that's Gonzo talk. You're listening to Gonzo talk, and it tripped me out, man. It was really, really cool. And I think you guys did a great job with that. And, just listening to him talk about working with Jim Henson and dipping in and out of his career with these stories. And that was really awesome. So thank you very much for allowing me to, just geek out.
Glad you enjoyed it. Yeah. Dave is we love Dave. He's the best. He's very supportive of the museum. And like you said, it's like trippy talking to him sometimes because like talking to Gonzo.
It was excellent. It was very good. So if you guys haven't caught any of these, definitely check it out. Go to waltdisney.org, sign up for the newsletter, get involved, download the app, take the tour. Especially if you've never been to the museum before, it's hard to describe. Of course, Terrence and I went there and shot a little video, so maybe you've seen that. It's on our YouTube page, but you got to check the museum out. It's amazing. It's good stuff. Tracy, thanks a lot for your time. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
All right, we'll talk. We'll talk to you. Bye. That sounds cool. That's a good.
I wish I could just sit and watch 5 hours of it straight. Like I don't really want to watch it in segments. Because I obviously won't be able to. But that sounds awesome. I can't wait to see the footage of opening day in color. Like that's a trip.
Yeah, that'll be cool.
Well, they caught my eye because I was flicking through Insta today, and they posted I follow the Walt Disney Family Museum on Insta, of course. And they had a really beautiful picture, and it was like of the Disneyland, the model that they have there.
Yeah.
And it just was like lit up. It looked awesome. And I was like, oh, what's this? So I actually, before I even knew that she was coming on, I saw that earlier, and I was like, this is amazing. I will be downloading and watching.
Yes.
It's a great model. That's 100%. All right. Yeah. Let's get back to the top of the show here, everybody. And thanks a lot again to Tracy and the Walt Disney Family Museum for coming on and chatting us up here a little bit. Follow us on social media. I don't know why I'm screaming at you, but I'm doing it. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest. Any feedback on the show or just anything in general goes to Taryn at earsup-podcast.com. Show suggestions or guest bookings, or especially if you're Dave Goelz and you want to be on the show, email Terrence at earsup-podcast.com. You can say hi to Bev and anything else to me, Jason, earsup-blah, blah, blah. And before we get to feedback, Concy Ears is there for you, everybody. Apparently, I didn't know this. I don't know if anybody else knew this. Walt Disney World opened today.
Walt Disney World Land opened.
Yeah, it opened today. So if you're trying to get there, concierge.com. That's the only way to go. That's how you buy tickets. That's how you get in.
Especially now, like with everything being so confusing.
Like, is it open? I don't even know.
Yeah. You should have talked to
Yep.
concierge earlier today.
Well, 2 of the parks are open today, not all 4.
Not all 4. Okay.
So today
which
was
is open?
Magic Kingdom and Animal Kingdom, and then on the 15th, I believe, is Epcot and Hollywood Studios. So they're phasing it in.
Okay.
But you've been able to stay at those resorts for a few weeks now. I had friends who were staying at Animal Kingdom Lodge last weekend.
To do what? Just to
So the-
stay at
Without going to Disneyland?
You know what they're going to
Or
find
drop-
out? What they could have done tonight. They went a
God
week
bless.
early.
Yeah.
Well played.
Well, concierge.com, check it out. They not only will help you buy tickets, but they'll help you plan your vacation. They will do things for you like booking hotel reservations, booking food reservations, if that's a thing. I don't even know anymore. They will know. So check them out, concierge.com. They have supported this show through the lockdown, and I really, really appreciate it. They didn't have to, but they did. And so please repay their kindness and use them as a service whenever you go to any of the Disney vacations. Once cruise lines open up or anything else like that, concierge.com. All right, Taryn, do we have feedback?
We do.
Okay.
But I since I have the mic, Bev, did you?
You've always had a mic.
Yeah, but now it's my turn to talk.
Oh, God.
Bev, are you blonde now?
I'm blonde now.
What?
That's 2 against you, Jason.
Keep in
I
mind,
got
number
my
one,
hair
this is a
dyed today.
podcast.
It looks
Actually, that's
so
why it's
good.
Yeah, okay.
Thank
But I've
you.
It looks
never
more
seen
fun.
you like.
Apparently they have more fun. We'll find out.
You guys should have your
It
own
looks
show
good. I love
if you
it.
want to talk about hair. Because like I came on, I was like, I didn't even say anything. And literally the first thing Jeremy says goes, "Did you get your hair done?" And I'm like, who cares?
Well, it looks shorter.
What do you mean? Who cares? She looks so it's a
Jason
big
said it looks
change.
longer.
So you know that you saw it.
I asked her if
And
she
you-
got extensions.
Oh my god.
Because I'm like, it looks long. I don't know.
I mean, I guess you haven't seen Bev in a while, but geez.
Too
Yeah,
hot to laugh
it's
like
so
that.
noticeable, but I really like it. I love it. I
Right.
think it looks
Thank
great.
you.
It's very
Yeah.
summery.
does she like it or does she love it? Let's
I
find
love it.
out. Let's find out later. Let's save that.
I
Let's
lo-
table that for the end of the show. As exciting as it is. Let's do some
Yeah.
feedback, Taryn. What do you think?
Yes.
As
Okay, well-
exciting as it is.
Man, I'm about ready to have another beer.
Jeez Louise. Okay.
My name's Jason.
This is from Parker.
Parker?
Dear Ears Up team. First off, hi Bev.
Hi,
I hope you are well.
I am.
That's good.
Well,
And blonde. For the rest
I hope you were blonde.
hi, Bev. I hope you're blonde. Parker, how did you know?
For the rest of you, note this is mostly sarcastic rage. We do love you guys.
Okay.
You are all dead wrong about Princess and the Frog.
Uh-oh, here it comes.
Tiana was one of the first princesses of the new age who worked hard to achieve her goals. Was there magic along the way? Of course there was. It's a freaking Disney movie.
Mm-hmm.
Tiana represents the modern woman, hardworking, independent, self-confident, and a darn good singer. Oh, by the way, her dad died too. It's a critical point to the whole story, which
It
is
is.
just as important as some other princesses' stories. Cough, Cinderella, cough. Also, the music is incredible. You are entitled to your opinion,
No.
but you're all wrong.
Yeah.
We are bummed they are changing Splash Mountain, as this is our all-time favorite ride. If they're going to change it, though, this is the absolute best choice. It's basically in New Orleans Square. It has great music, and it's is a ride for a great underappreciated princess. All that being said, love you guys and love the podcast. You've kept the magic alive in the worst year of all time. See you in the parks if the Rona ever ends. Parker and Christine.
Nice.
P.S. Bye, Bev.
Wow,
Oh,
was
I
that
like the vibe.
that's the first Bye Bev
That's the
officially
first-
on our
Yeah.
timeline. Parker.
There's more.
Oh.
P.S.S. Taryn, great job on the history of Thunder Mountain. Thank you. P.S.S. More Jeremy is always a good thing.
Agreed.
I
And
agree.
P.S.S.S.
That no one ever.
It's fun to watch you guys on YouTube from home and get a little taste of your homes.
Nice.
Aw.
In a
I
creepy
still haven't
way.
fixed that hole.
Yeah,
Ears
are
up
we
that's,
done?
cribs.
That's done.
Yo, dog.
Oh my God, we should do that. That'd be hilarious. Ours is just a mess.
I'm thinking about doing some. That's actually a very good idea. I got some ideas, and that's a good one.
My video would be 30 seconds long. Like, here's my house. There's my house.
Parker, I don't know how you can say the music is very good. That Randy Newman, man, he can really light something on fire and throw it in a dumpster.
Are you sure it's Randy Newman who does the music for that movie?
100. I looked it up.
It is.
And also, he has his voice is very specific.
He's Toy Story.
He's Toy
He's Toy
Story
Story.
guy.
Just stick to Toy Story.
You got a friend in me.
He's great on Toy
Well, that's
Story.
not a good song.
Yeah, do.
That's an amazing song, Jeremy. Oh, my heart broke.
Yeah. So anyway, there you go. Anything else for feedback?
Yes. This next one is quite short, but it's from Nick. Hey, just wanted to say I love the Big Thunder episode. I'm a big fan of the history episodes where you dig and find all the juicy details. Keep up the great work. Thanks, Nick.
Yeah, Nick. Thanks.
I specifically chose only the feedback that gave me praise.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
That's wise.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I thought so too.
Yeah. I know how that feels.
Anyway, that's it for feedback. Thank you all for writing in.
All right.
I'm sorry. I apologize. There is
Wow.
one more feedback, but I'm saving it till when Terrence is here because it was specifically asked of Terrence.
I feel like so let's address. Terrence had an emergency come up today, so he's not here on the show. That's why people in the chat have been asking, or I think one person that Terrence probably paid to ask. That's
probably
why he's
Terrence.
not here right now. But no, we miss Terrence, of course. But I also feel like, you know what? If he can't be here, then he doesn't get to hear his feedback.
But it's somebody asking an opinion of Terrence.
Oh, okay.
I feel like it's not fair.
Right.
What is it? And we could guess and see what he says.
No, let's just
Okay.
wait.
All right, that's fine. We'll wait. Party pooper.
Thank you.
If you want to support the show, please go to etsy.com/shop/coveyears. Our printer still will not let me add new shirts, and they are still like 28 business days to ship stuff. But they are shipping. So you will get your shirt eventually. Now maybe you should probably transition to hoodies and sweatshirts because you'll probably get them by October.
Right.
But anyway, so check that out. I have a couple shirt ideas that I'm just waiting to be able to add shirts back to. So I appreciate it. But the absolute best way to support the show, patreon.com/earsup. Become a Patreon supporter. I think you can actually just donate whatever you want. But at $5 a month, you get access to the secret show. So here's what Patreon will do for you, okay? Here's what you support with your sponsorship dollars go to promote a variety of shows across the Ears Up podcasting network. Thank you. Ears Up, of course. In Depth with Jeremy and myself, which we have to do next week. Jer, we got to do it.
We got to do it.
It goes to support the Bantha Milk podcast. Go to banthamilk.com. Those boys over there. Some of your money goes to getting them new microphones and working on some sort of production values and kind of helping them out too because they're good dudes. It goes to the Supreme Resort. They're doing well over there. It goes to now is something called Scraping the Vault. So they had Cash Grab for a bit, and that was just on the Supreme Resort feed with Jimmy and Dan and their friend Audrey. And it's a cool show where they review direct-to-video Disney releases.
Okay.
And it's fun.
Yeah.
And so they strong-armed me into agreeing to split it out and have its own feed.
Oh.
Yeah. So
okay.
That show sounds pretty cool, actually, though.
it does sound cool. It was called Cash Grab, but they saw some random podcast have it, and they all freaked out, and they decided they needed to rebrand and change a thing. And then they told me after the fact, and I'm like, you guys did not need to do this, but that's fine. Scraping the Vault, it totally works too. That should be all dropping on July 25th. So there will be a brand new feed for everybody to tackle in their podcast catching apps. So it's another mouth for me to feed, but that's what you are supporting. So you're supporting, what is that, 12 shows, it feels like?
That's a lot. That's
A
a lot
whole-
of content.
A whole bunch of stuff. So even if the rewards, even if you're not like really cool on the rewards or you don't care or whatever, supporting the show monetarily means that we can keep doing this kind of stuff. So I really appreciate it. Everybody really appreciates it. My goal with doing this is to be able to pay everybody.
Yeah.
I'm not there yet, but most of us are getting paid, and I really appreciate that. So if you want to keep these shows alive and help us out, please join patreon.com/earsup. Yes, Beverly.
What happened to sabers and superpowers?
It's the same thing. Anthony
The man.
Anthony works for a video game designer. I guess I could say Crystal Dynamics, whatever. No one cares. But they are in the middle of releasing a video game, like a Marvel Avengers video game. And so since his company has a contract with Disney, he can't talk about Marvel at all without submitting a literal script, like word for word. They want to know what he says because they're concerned that he's going to be leaking information on the game. So anyway, so that's kind of gone. It might come back, but now that we have Bantha Milk, I don't think we need another Star Wars podcast, but I'm not going to like throw my nephew out in the cold. So if he wants to come back after the game is released and he can talk about it a little more freely, then it'll come back, but I don't know that.
I just had an idea. They could record and then somebody could do the transcript and then send that and just not release it until they say it's okay.
Yeah, so Jason, after you're done editing the show,
It'll
get
be
on your typewriter
easy.
and pound that out. Let's go. You got time.
I don't know why I didn't think about that. Oh, wait.
Right.
No,
Duh.
honestly,
You could
Taryn,
hire a stenographer.
there are podcast transcription services, but they're like $100 a show. And I've thought about it for just our show because some people might care. It's not a bad idea, but I don't think Anthony even has the time. Actually, he sent me all of the podcast stuff so I can like distribute it out to everybody else.
Well, and also knowing Anthony, they would see the script and be like, no.
Yeah.
And then it would just be a waste.
I mean, he's not going to talk about. He doesn't even tell me about the game.
That is true. He's
And I'm
kind
like,
of a
what am
nerd
I
that
gonna?
way.
What am I gonna do? Who am I gonna talk to? Who am I gonna tell?
I love that since we've been doing this show, the people who used to tell you stuff now don't tell you anything.
Nobody tells me a friggin' thing, man. All
Yeah.
my sources have dried up because they've all got promoted or gone on to do better things, and nobody tells me anything anymore because they don't want to get fired. But so I'm like, how do other shows and stupid blogs get information? They make it up. That's how. Speaking of making,
You're not greasing the wheel. You've got to foster those relationships. You've got to be taking people out to dinner. You need to be buying drinks. You got to grease them.
I'll grease them all right.
Well, with
Right.
you not planning to leave your house for the next
Yeah.
year, it's
Yeah.
probably not going to work out in your favor.
Can somebody
Well,
else
you could
grease
have
them?
a
Yeah,
cookout.
Jeremy, go grease everybody for me, please. You're the one who goes out. So should we talk about? Should we want to get in the show? Should we talk about Downtown Disney real fast?
I don't know. I guess Downtown Disney.
I don't know. Don't
mean,
you have
if-
like an outline that we follow? Like what?
You know what?
Oh no, we've lost him.
I didn't realize this is just like ad-libbing.
Ah. Wait, you thought this was like professional?
Oh, he gone.
Yeah, no, he gone.
He's getting another beer.
Well,
he
yeah,
already he hinted, he dropped
obviously.
that he wanted one earlier. This is his exit.
That was foreshadowing.
I see him lurking.
There he is.
But I'm not happy about it.
Just do it now, because I think it'll
We'll do it now.
It'll go into the topic very well.
So earlier today, Downtown Disney opened. Okay, it was their grand opening, and Jimmy, the nut of all nuts, decided to fly out from Georgia, not to dox him or anything, and attend the opening of Downtown Disney. So we streamed it. So it was me and Jimmy and Dan and Eric from the Supreme Resort. That place was wild, man. I go look at it. It's on our YouTube page. The whole thing is up there. It was like an hour because we were having a good time commenting about it and just basically making fun of Jimmy. At least I was, because that's what I do. But there weren't that. Okay, so this reminded me of why I want to talk about it. Sites who make stuff up. So someone posted in the Supreme Resort Facebook chat or Facebook group rather a screenshot of a mice chat update that said the Downtown Disney was packed at 9 a.m. And it literally wasn't.
Which is just about the time that
It was.
he was
It's
there.
an hour before we went live, and it's literally empty. It's a ghost town. It was not packed. So that's how. That's really why I wanted to start talking about it, just to call out Mice Chat again, for just lying, just making stuff up, just being sensationalist because they're just trying to be news. And
Click, 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 click.
it's annoying. Yeah, it's super annoying. But go watch the video. They literally walked through security. You know, they got their temperature taken, which doesn't do anything. And then they gave their bags to a man, and he had a face mask on and a face shield on, and he was behind plexiglass. And I'm like, that's the safest job in this entire area.
Yeah.
You're never going to get breathed on. There were a lot of people obeying the 6-foot social distancing thing, so it was really nice. That was cool. It was comforting to see. But as the place sort of started to, fill up and congeal with people, Jimmy's like, I'm getting brushed by people walking by. Like, it's, and he's going, 6 feet. And he's like trying to like maneuver around everybody, which was also comforting to see because I'm not the only one. But it felt like in lines, it was fine. And they were letting like 2 groups of people at a time into like the Lego store. So he was like shooting in the Lego store and there's nobody in there. There's like nobody in there.
Which, by the way,
very cool.
If you're only one of 2 parties in a store like that, how much shopping pressure is that? Like, Bev, I don't know if you've ever gone shopping with Sam, but like,
oh my God, it's the worst.
It's the worst because there's so much pressure to like try stuff
Get
on
in.
really
Get in.
fast.
Oh, no. I've never gone clothes shopping with Sam because I don't hate myself enough to do that. But it would be like,
that's my job.
Like, honestly, grocery shopping
Yeah.
is like, I need to go in. I need to have a list. I need to know exactly where everything is. I can't look around.
No.
We're not here to look around.
Oh
We're
my
here to buy
God.
the things on our list and leave.
That just like reminded me of like grocery shopping with Jason because like I love grocery shopping. I could spend 2 hours there going down
We
each
live
aisle.
parallel lives.
Yeah, and like when Jason's there, he's like, "Are we done? Like, are we done yet?
Here's
Like,
the thing.
What else do you need?"
I'll be in the car.
When we're done when we get from this part of the list to this part of the list, that's when we're done.
Sometimes there's not even a list. Sometimes
And
you're
there
just
might be a
How do you
detour.
go- no, you can't go there without a list.
First of all, 2 things.
That's absolutely ridiculous.
2 things. Number 1, most of the time there's not a list. Number 2, I enjoy shopping. I enjoy going grocery shopping by myself because the last thing I want to do is follow somebody around, not utilizing my big galaxy brain. So when I'm alone shopping, my brain is so huge, I'm burning all of the
I
calories.
think you mean ego.
It's both.
Okay.
I think you just mean head.
It's so
You're confusing
huge
brain with head.
that I'm looking to like, okay, this is what I need. I'm thinking about stuff. I'm actively shopping. But with you, I'm here's a new term, passive shopping. I just coined it, passive
Why?
shopping.
Why don't you regular shop when I'm there?
I don't know. Anyway, so back to Downtown Disney. So
Like,
the
no, I'm not stopping you.
the,
Right.
the line for because you make more money than I do, and so I feel like any spending decisions, I just leave it up to you. You're smarter than that. Does that work? Anyway, the line for the World of Disney. Okay, so the World of Disney was open. The line extended from the what like I don't know how to let me orient myself from west to east. Okay, so it went from west to east all the way across the entire length of the World of Disney, past La Brea Bakery, into the Esplanade, made a hard right turn underneath the monorail track, and another hard right turn back. It was a monstrosity of a line, and these
There's
people
literally
were
nothing at that store worth
waiting in
waiting in that line for.
I understand. I know. I don't understand. It blew my mind. And then to the point where they put a sign out and they started collecting phone numbers for text messages. So it was a virtual queue at that point because there was too many people in line. So then once that happened, once everyone got out of line because they already had a spot locked in, they went and waited another line. Or you've been to Downtown Disney, both of you. There's a lot of places where it sort of like slims down and then widens out, right? So you're slimming down and you're almost shoulder to shoulder with people, like walking around the Uva bar and stuff. I even told Jimmy, I was like, yeah, it's a good thing you're going down the smallest part of the area with the most people in it. So already I'm like, they need to stop. It's been open for half an hour. They need to stop letting people in. There's too many people.
Yeah.
And I freaked out. Anyway, check it out. It's fun. All right.
Sounds like a blast.
Listening to you have a panic attack sounds amazing.
I would never go. I wouldn't do it. Like to everybody's credit, in the lines, they were 6 feet or more away. And everyone was wearing masks and nobody was really crowding everybody. But it's just the amount of people in the walkways bothered me. And you put that into the parks and you multiply that by 1,000. It's just, I don't know, man.
Those hotels aren't open, right?
Not in
yet.
Disneyland, no. Yeah. Anyway, you know what else is a blast, though? The 21st Amendment. They have been serving craft beer in the San Francisco Bay Area for 19 years. From their initial brew pub on 2nd Street, which is 2 blocks from Giant Stadium. As soon as baseball opens, you guys go check that out. If you're any sort of baseball fan and you come into town for a Giants game and you don't go to the 21st Amendment after the game or before, you're missing out on a good part of sort of baseball culture there. It's a good time. To their production brewery and tap room across the bay in San Leandro, the 21st Amendment is now available in 29 states, including in and around the parks. Next time you're in San Francisco, visit the brew pub and shoot over to neighboring San Leandro to check out their new production brewery and tap room for great beers and good food. And be sure to ask for the 21st Amendment wherever you find good craft beer. Jeremy,
I'm excited for this show.
are you ready, my friend? What to
Are you
do
ready?
at the Disney resorts without going into the parks, presented by my personal close friend, Jeremy.
We're going to talk about it, but first, wait. We got to back up.
Uh-oh.
I can't do that yet. We have new business that we need to address
Oh, my
first.
gosh, new business. Chairman, is it okay to bring up new business?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Chairwoman. Thank you, presiding Chairwoman. Now that Disney World has opened today, they've been releasing pictures of. Have you seen this castle?
I have. I've seen
No.
photos.
There's a new castle
No.
photo?
Cinderella Castle, because the 50th is coming up. Disney World's 50th is coming up. They painted it pink.
What?
They painted it pink and gold.
No, they didn't. Stop it.
I saw a picture from
What?
far away, and it seemed like it looked really good.
Here's a video. Disney fans aren't all keen on the newly painted Cinderella Castle, but the park says it's still putting finishing touches on the landmark. Oh,
Finishing touches.
God.
It's grotesque.
Oh.
Is it? Oh my gosh, I need to see. Wow. You know why? It's the blue. The blue is too blue. It's like highlighter blue.
The blue is too blue, and
This-
the pink is too pink.
The pink
Like,
is okay. I'm okay with the pink.
This has got to be Kim
that's because you're
Irvine.
from Disneyland.
No, because the other
Cinderella
castle
Castle-
had pink.
What?
The other one had pink too, didn't it? Didn't it have
Ours-
pink before?
No, I think it was like a taupe color. It wasn't pink.
It was really
Oh.
like a gray, white, and blue.
Yeah. So this is what it was before, Tarrant. You can go. Actually, if you just Google Cinderella Castle Disney World, there's a ton of side-by-sides. People already doing this, but that's what it looks like. Oh, whatever. That's what it looked like before.
That is a vibrant color change.
But
Okay,
it's
okay.
kind of dull. And then some. Ooh, that's a
Not
Fox,
good.
Sorry, that's a Fox News site. Get out of here. Go
Oh,
away.
you gave them money.
I know, I didn't mean to. I
Ugh.
literally didn't want to do that. But some people have been, like on the photo that people.com have posted, it's definitely changed in, they've definitely
Yeah,
highlighted
I
the blue.
realized that. Yeah.
But there's a lot of, that looks awful.
I don't think it looks that bad.
It looks so bad, dude. Well, okay, I'll tell you what.
Well, here's some of the Instagram. So Disney World posted
The pink looks
a picture
terrible.
of it.
But sorry, Jer, but like the stone on the lower half with the gold and the blue looks great. But the
Yes,
pink,
agreed.
The
the
pink, it's
pink-
like it's like a mauve.
it's Pepto Bismol pink.
mauve.
You're mauve.
I like mauve.
Your mom is mauve.
Mauve,
Alright, anyway.
mauve is
Dead.
so hot right now.
Go ahead, Jeremy. Sorry.
Here's some of the commentary on Disney World official Instagram.
I love this so much. I live for moments like these.
How much to paint it back to the original color? I'll chip in $5.
Amen.
Wow.
Let's set a GoFundMe.
And that has 1,300 likes. I mean, it's not like it's got like the people are really. This is every single one. I'm reading in order. Who wants the old castle back? 1,000 likes. I really prefer the gray and the blue. The pink is like the castle in Disneyland.
Oh,
Walt
it
Disney World
is.
is losing its identity,
Ooh,
which is
Well,
this is
okay.
my point: is
Hold
the
on.
homogenization of the parks. Paris's castle is pink. Disneyland castle is pink. Shanghai. Now Disney World can't like we just they have one idea, so they just have to rubber stamp it.
Yeah.
You don't even need a new idea. You already have a nice castle. Leave it.
It was a little
Um,
boring. It was like drab.
It was beautiful. It was majestic. The thing about the Cinderella castle is that it is Gothic, neo-Gothic architecture, and it soared. It replicated cathedrals. It's a cathedral. Its tall, skinny spires reached for the sky. Its blue and white color palette emulated the sky. It was heavenly, it was celestial, and now it is a chunky bottle of Pepto-Bismol in the middle of that park.
It
You're
really
fat
is.
shaming.
Here's another one.
And
Wait.
your IBS shaming too.
Please, I drink Pepto-Bismol all day. I know exactly what it looks like. Give me back my castle. People want to feel at home at Disney World, and this is the color of Sleeping Beauty, not ours. I like that one. That was Jeremy
Oh,
Murray. I prefer the original. I miss the original. The blue style was nicer. Does anyone know if they're painting the bottom? Otherwise, no offense, it looks like a train wreck. I mean, and they go on and on.
Oh wow.
Sometimes I love social media for that reason, and I wonder if it sort of makes me feel that Disney's brand gets more people in between. I mean, you get people on either side, right? Or either like super nice or super hateful. But I think the majority of people who do comment are sort of trying to be fair to Disney. But if you were going to comment on like a Jamba Juice post or whatever, they would just rip them to shreds.
I will say I just looked at the actual photo from the Disney World website, and it looks beautiful. So they got the coloring really good or something, because I think it looks great.
I think that I think you're exactly right, Jeremy. Imagine if they took our castle, our Sleeping Beauty castle, and made it gray and gothic.
Can I ask an honest question?
Right.
Who would ever notice?
My
Are you
bad.
kidding?
Why are
When-
you chatting
you guys
with
got a
each
new
other?
paint
Stop
job
it.
last year, and everybody was all up in arms
Yeah,
about it.
everybody was super mad.
I didn't
So
notice
people
it
would.
You've talked about it. You
until
just forgot.
news articles
Oh,
happened.
okay.
But if you stay away from the parks long enough and you go back, I would never notice.
That's true.
I would never notice. I would go, does this always look that way?
Yeah, that's true.
Well, so
It looks
more
stupid.
to Taryn's point, though, the Disney World concept art that they released before they executed this, they released. They're like, here's what it's going to look like, and I was like, that looks pretty good. Like, all right, for the 50th, let's do it.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know what happened. Like, did they mix the paint wrong or something? Like, it doesn't look like the concept. It's way pinker. It's way darker. It's not executed very well.
But do you know if you're getting like the real, like, because you haven't seen it in person yet? So
Exactly. Like it could
could
just
be the
be
photos.
photo, like what's the filtered?
yeah,
Yeah, so
That's what the kids do. They filter.
yeah, they filter.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to say. There are some sites that are accentuating. They're either like upping the contrast and sort of accentuating the balance between the two. So who knows what it looks like in real life? Well, I mean, I guess a lot of people do. But
Yeah, I mean, I've seen that. I have seen that where it's like, okay, you obviously upped the saturation as far as it'll go. But this is Disney World's official picture. And I've also, like, you're just seeing a lot of pictures come out because it's the first time everyone saw it. So people are posting this all day long. So I feel like I'm getting a very broad spectrum of what this looks like, and I'm not happy. And also, just philosophically, if you were to say we're painting the castle pink, I would say that's stupid. It's Gothic. Like,
yeah, you're right.
Gothic doesn't go with that architectural style, whereas
right.
I think it does a bit more with the Disneyland style. But
I want a
it's
Castle
like,
Morrison
it's
to
like
be proud of.
putting a station wagon chassis on a Corvette. Like, you don't do that. It doesn't make sense.
But some
Okay.
people do put a Porsche engine into a VW. So there's also that.
Yeah, they're idiots. And they're not Imagineers, but that's what's going. That's what's happening. And I might
Okay.
here's the bottom line. I think Disney has forgotten how to make a castle nice.
Ooh.
Shanghai is a disaster.
It's a sick burn.
They just ruined Hong Kong's by putting all that crap on top of it. And now they have this one that was still kind of good, and they're ruining it. So thanks, Disney.
Ouch.
You're welcome.
So since we can now get off of my rant,
Never.
but since that castle is so ugly, you might want to not go to the Magic Kingdom the next time you go to Disney World. So what are you going to do when you're not in the park, but you find yourself in Anaheim or Orlando? So I divided this up into 4 categories. One is activities that you can do. The other is entertainment. So activities are things you have to do. Entertainment is more passive, things that you can watch other people do. Nightlife and unique, drinking and dining. And I put unique because I didn't want to just put like, go see Cirque du Soleil at Disney Springs. Like, that just, it's too obvious. So I wanted to do things that are maybe a bit more off the beaten path, not maybe a little bit more surprising, or things that you can do on your own that don't require Disney holding your hand.
Okay.
I also put it out there to some of the listeners and got some responses. So I'll be reading those at the end. But I thought we could start off by going around and having each of us talk about some of the things that we enjoy doing when we are at a Disney park, but not in the actual park.
I'll start.
I was hoping you would.
Mine is not drinking. I mean, even though that really is what I like to do.
Mine is.
I chose to not involve drinking in mine.
Boo! Boo! Someone's lost her way. Can we get the old Taryn back? 1,000 likes.
I actually really like to go to the Disneyland Hotel and look in the different lobbies of the different towers.
Oh.
Because you're a creeper.
No. They have really cool things in there. They have a lot of old photos.
People and
Shut up.
guests living their lives, not paying attention to anybody.
They have shopping for one. There's tons of like old photos of Walt and of Disneyland, like photos that you don't see other places. There's in the main lobby where you like check in the main tower. I forget what that one's called. You actually can sit in teacups. They're chairs. They're waiting chairs or teacups, which is adorable.
Like from the ride.
From the ride. Well, they're not really from the ride because they're comfortable. But
And they don't spin or whatever. Can you imagine waiting in line to check in and that friggin' music's playing with that high whistle? It always gets me when I'm waiting in line. That I don't know, man. It freaks me out.
that's probably why you hate that movie.
I do hate that movie.
And then specifically, one of the ones that I really like is the Frontierland lobby of the Frontierland Tower. It has a whole what do they call it?
Theme. It's called theming.
No, the mock-up, the model. It has a whole scale model of Frontierland, and it has the Big Thunder Mountain Railroad and everything. It's so cool. I really like it. Also, at Christmas time, they decorate, and so like the Adventureland Tower is gonna have like a Christmas tree, but it's gonna have like big like Indiana Jones looking boxes underneath and stuff. So I don't know. I think that there's a lot to be seen at the hotel lobbies.
What's an Indiana Jones style box? Like a crate?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
I didn't know that they have that Frontierland model. I've never gone in the Frontierland Tower, I don't think.
I think
So
I've
would like to go.
only ever stayed in the Frontierland Towers for some reason. But
They also have in between two of the towers, sort of near Trader Sam's, they have, I think it's either like the original fountain work or like an homage to the Rainbow Caverns, where it's like the fountains, the colored fountains. Were. So they have that kind of tucked away in the middle. There's actually a lot to explore in that area, like Trader Sam's.
yes.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Someone asked in the chat, Bev, if Sam is just trying to see how much stuff he can cram into the frame.
Yeah, well, we have this conversation every time we record that I like to have a clean background, so I make sure the kitchen is clean, and he's just trying to sneak crap in, and he knows it's driving absolutely bonkers. Like,
that's amazing.
God bless.
I'm gonna kill him.
I would like it if it was like weird objects, like suddenly a rubber chicken is on behind your shoulder.
I'm gonna start buying Sam costumes to wear.
See a shoe. Yeah, that's in my house.
Oh, let me correct myself because I just realized in the chat it's not a model of Frontierland. It's a model of Big Thunder Mountain.
Oh yeah, okay, right.
And then the chat is also saying that the Adventureland Tower has a Jungle Cruise one. So that's really cool.
Oh.
Those are very cool things to go and check out.
So iconic attractions from each of those lands they represent.
Yep.
Neat.
Who's next?
Bev, tell me yours.
I'll go next. I have a wish and something I actually like to do. I've always wanted to go to Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles.
Where is that?
It's in Anaheim.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not on property.
No, it's not on property.
Got
but
it.
It's something while in Anaheim I've always wanted to do while not in the parks. Never done it, but it'll happen.
I like how
I'll go with you.
Bev is not only on topic but sort of on brand with talking about food.
Well, yeah. And then I'm also going to be on brand because it's mine is about drinking.
There we go.
I love the bar in well, actually I like the whole lobby area of the Grand Californian. It's not the casino.
No, which also does have a nice lobby.
I wouldn't know, but there's different aspects I like. I think they have a good bar. Like it's a cool place just to hang out and drink. But also like I love that they have kids, like little kid rocking chairs, so Abby can sit there and
Oh,
watch a kids movie while mommy gets
You
her
get drunk.
scotch on. I just think it's a cool place to hang out. It's entertaining for all members of the family. Are we still allowed to do that though? Like with their new like entrances?
I don't know. We'll find out, I guess.
you just have to have a
I don't mean with
reservation.
COVID. I just mean like before.
I think
Because,
you have to have
before
a
I've always just walked
reservation,
in.
Oh, because you
or you
can't.
have, or not a reservation. You have to be eating somewhere there. So you just say like, "Oh, I'm going to be eating at the bar."
Okay.
Right. Like, didn't they try to kick us out for that? And then we were like,
Yeah.
oh, no, actually, we're just we're eating there. And
I
they were
even
like,
used
"Oh, okay."
I even used like the
I'm
I'm
pregnant.
pregnant and it's 125,000 degrees out here.
Because they won't. What they're talking about is that they won't let you walk through the Grand Californian to get to the parks anymore.
So you have to like walk around to the entrance and come in.
Yeah, which is, come on, get out of here.
Whatever. But anyway, that's mine.
Cool.
Okay. I like it.
Thank you.
That's
Jason.
you, Jason.
My turn. Okay. There's a common theme with these. The only really hotels that I've been at besides the Disneyland Hotel is the Grand Californian and the Grand Floridian.
Mm.
Okay. In the Grand Floridian, when we went, I did two things, and that's basically it: is drink rosé and go swimming,
Oh, so fun.
and we did tea.
Yes.
Went to the tea
Oh,
room.
you did the
That's
tea.
nice.
Yeah, we did the tea
That's
room.
on my list.
Awesome.
It was cool. I wouldn't
Okay.
say it was awesome.
It was awesome.
I mean, awesome.
No, I've done tea
It's
at other hotels. It's awesome.
It's awesome.
It's amazing.
It's really cool. But I don't know if it was worth it. But anyway, it's fine. It was fine. But swimming with a tall boy of Yingling Lager and a glass full of rosé at 11 o'clock at night is kind of the best thing in the world.
It's pretty
Because
yeah.
their pools, I think, are 24 hours, or they
I
close
was
at
gonna say they
midnight or
don't close
something
their
like that.
pools.
Yeah. So it's like 11, 11:30. You go to the because we did the concierge
Concierge.
level. They fill you basically a 5-gallon bucket full of rosé, and then you go out to the pool, crack that tall boy. You're drinking rosé. You're double fisting with rosé and Yingling, and you're sitting in the pool, and you can hear the fireworks, and it feels like I could either be outside of the pool or inside of the pool. Either way, it feels like I'm in water. Because it's so humid and disgusting.
That's true.
It's Florida.
That was funny.
The other thing, so going to the Grand Californian, the best time I had at that hotel was going swimming. So my point is, go swimming.
They do have great pools.
Take these times because the pools are clean, heavily chlorinated, but that's to be expected and accepted, to be honest. But you
Well,
can,
during COVID, you want as much chlorine as possible.
that's right.
It's true.
You can get drinks right there at the ready. People come around. There are a lot of kids there too. So if you're sort of kid adverse, that might not be the best thing to do. But it is a great way to just relax and soak your feet and that kind of thing. But that's what I like to do because it is sort of a different aspect to the Disney destination.
Well, and also if you're getting drinks while you're there, the cast members will come around and take your order, and you just scan your room key if you're staying at that resort, and you just forget what money is. Like you just you know what? Buy drinks for the whole place. I don't care.
Bring me all the alcohol.
Just put it on my tab. Like you forget until you get your end bill. So
That's what's known as tomorrow's problem.
right.
Yep.
Jason, I didn't realize you were so aquatic minded.
Oh, I love pools,
Oh,
dude. I love a
the
pool.
best.
We almost
Yeah.
we almost put one in our house, and then we got the quote, and we're like, yeah, that's not gonna happen.
It would be
Put that
like
on
a
Taryn's
pool
wristband.
with
Yeah.
like dirt all around it.
Yeah,
Like
let's get a.
You're not gonna like.
yeah,
pay
like
that
we could
out.
afford maybe the pool, maybe,
maybe.
but nothing else ever.
The only way we could afford the pool is if we sold the house. So we're sort of like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Anyway.
I mean, I've heard that sometimes putting a pool in can cost like $70,000, so it doesn't surprise me.
It wasn't that high, but yeah,
It was-
they can. I
it-
mean, this was like bottom of the barrel pool too. Like, Who wants bottom of the barrel pool? Like,
That's
Yeah, it was actually just a barrel.
It was actually just a hole with water in it.
It was actually
Just a mud bath.
It was actually a man called Beryl.
Maybe you could just dig a hole and put a barrel in it and call it like it could be like a plunge pool.
There
You know?
are builds on YouTube where you can take like they're galvanized steel watering troughs essentially for like horses
Right.
and cows and stuff. But that they are a circle, and you can make that into a jacuzzi. But you have like a propane tank and a whole thing. I'm like, well, no, we're not. I'm not trying to do
Just
that.
get
yet.
a hot tub.
Would you mind hooking the grill up to the trough? I want to go for a dip.
How long are those dogs gonna be ready?
on a separate but related note, my parents are legitimately considering doing this.
The
They're-
trough?
Yeah. Like
Oh,
my dad
Jesus.
is like 100%. Like he's like, it's a trough. It's gonna be awesome. I'm like, you're gonna feel like a cow.
Yeah, he'll be like this. He'll be like, well, I think it's easy
So this.
because he's like half
so
a lizard
I
person.
don't know if you guys know. I don't know if you guys know, but right now it's impossible to get. At least here, it's impossible to get inflatable pools.
Yeah, hard.
Like they're impossible to find because I guess people are buying them and like selling them online for 3 times what they're worth.
Oh God.
Yeah.
So we were looking for one for the 4th of July because it was hot. And honestly, we looked at Tractor Supply. We looked at a couple troughs. And it was the only option available.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just need a
We
body
didn't
of
buy
water.
it, but we thought about it.
All right, Jeremy.
That was
Okay, well, I'll give you mine, and then we will do the lightning rounds. I'll give you what I came across from the internet and what people fed back to us for the ultimate list of what to
Okay.
do. But mine is something called the Hoop-de-Doo Review, which is at Disney's Fort Wilderness Lodge. So this is Disney World. This is a hilarious, high-spirited hootenanny with unlimited beer, wine, and sangria, as well as amazing ribs, fried chicken, mashed potatoes, and strawberry shortcake. So basically, it recreates these traveling shows from the late 19th century that went around the frontier in the Midwest and would entertain people in their towns. So it's meant to be like a traveling show.
Okay.
It harkens back to that, and they sing, this land is your land. They do this. It's a whole thing. And then there's skits, and they do Davy Crockett. It's really a lot of slapstick humor, but if you could just get your mindset into it, like it's a really, really good time. In fact, I told Miles, friend of the show, Miles, to go,
Oh,
and
yeah,
actually
yeah.
we went to the same one.
He
And,
told us this story actually,
Yeah.
and that's why he became a DVC member, because he went with you and left there feeling real
Drunk.
good, feeling like spending some money.
It's dangerous.
So they
So-
feed you and you have unlimited alcohol?
Yeah, so it's like a dinner show.
But how much is
Um,
this cost?
Who
think-
cares?
I'm sorry, I
ru-
don't speak well.
Yeah, like
Who
dep-
cares?
depending on the seat level you get, I think it could go anywhere between like $55 and $85,
Worth
depending
it.
on like where your
Totally
seats are
worth
per
it.
person.
No. Per person? No.
That
Go
is 100% worth
Go
it.
to medieval times.
Are you kidding me?
Get out of
It's
here.
better than medieval
out of
times,
here.
although
Stop
medieval
it.
times is good.
Yeah, thank you.
Unlimited beer and wine.
Oh, I missed that part.
You dummy.
Unlimited
Yeah.
beer and wine. I'm all in.
That
Unlimited
part.
beer and wine, and you get ribs, and you get a show, and all the things.
Is it unlimited ribs
Yeah.
too? How
They'll
much for
bring you
one
more
rib?
food. If you eat all the ribs, they'll bring you another, and they bring it in like a big metal bucket, and they just slam it down.
Oh, see that? $85 worth it. $55
For-
even better.
How much for
It's
one
also-
rib?
It's like going to Olive Garden. Like the salad there is so good, and the cornbread,
You know how restaurants make salad
absolute
good?
delight.
They put salt on it.
Yeah.
They salt the
Oh.
lettuce before they do anything else.
That sounds like genius right there.
Start doing it. But be careful, because if you oversalt it, then you just have a gross salad.
Ask us how we know.
Hot tips from Petros Kitchen.
Yeah, and from Beb's head. Because you
Okay.
got dye, your hair dye. Never mind. Go ahead, Jeremy.
Now I want you guys to jump in. Mine's very Disney World centric. I hit on Anaheim. We even are going to touch a little bit on Disneyland Paris, but because Disney World is so huge, there's just a lot to do there outside of the park. So it tends to overpower the story.
Okay.
One thing you can do is go fishing when you are at Disney World. Did you know that you can go fishing? Can you imagine?
No.
You can take bass tours. You go to Disney World, DisneyWorldFishing.com. You can get pole rentals at Fort Wilderness and Port Orleans because it's so much water. There's a Seven Seas Lagoon. There's Bay Lake. So you can stop by the Fort Wilderness Bike Barn for hourly rentals. So you can go fishing for a whole afternoon.
You can go. I'm sorry. What's the website? I'm looking up right now.
DisneyWorldFishing.com.
Like, that's cool, but I'm spending like at least $300 a day to be.
Yeah, but this is a break. So if you want a break.
Okay, yeah, you're right. All
Right. So this is like we're going to Disney World for a week, but we only want to buy 4-day park hoppers. What are we going to do with the other 3 days?
Okay, so how long is the tour?
DisneyWorldFishing.com takes you to the ESPN Wide World of Sports.
Oh, maybe they've changed that. This is from an article that I
Wrote.
Well, I went to various places and
Got
they
him.
listed, and
Got
I should
his
have checked
ass.
the link probably.
Brah.
You can do a monorail bar crawl.
Oh, God.
Hell yeah. Let's
This
go.
sounds like Jeremy's dream. How many times
So
have you done this?
A lot of people, when they go to Epcot, drink around the world. You go to each country, you
Yeah.
go every country. This is the monorail version of that, which you don't need a park ticket because the monorail's open to the public.
Oh,
Um,
jeez.
So you can go to, so what people do is you can start at any of the monorail resorts. So if you start at the Contemporary Resort, you can go to the Wave of Flavors. You can go to the Outer Rim, which is another place to get drinks there. And then there's the California Grill Lounge.
Okay. Not as funny as the other two, I gotta say.
No, that one's a little like
Not as
nah.
funny.
Okay.
Then you can hop back on the monorail and head over to Disney's Polynesian Village and have drinks at the Tambu Lounge, which is my favorite place to get a drink in the entire world.
Lapu Lapu.
Get the Lapu Lapu. If you have one of those, you're going to have a good time. But now you can go downstairs from the Tambu Lounge and go to our version of Trader Sam's. And then you can hop back on the monorail and you can go over to the Grand Floridian and have drinks at Misner's Lounge. Or there's a new one. There's a new cocktail bar there called the Enchanted Rose, I think.
Yeah, the Enchanted and the Steakhouse 55 Lounge or something like that.
That's
I don't know,
Disneyland.
That's a Disneyland.
But I think it's
Steakhouse
the
55.
same thing. Eric just wrote a thing on it a couple months ago. The Misner's Lounge sounds like a drunk person trying to name a lounge.
That's why it's at this point
You
in,
just
the,
want
in
to.
the trip.
I'm trying. Look, excuse me, ma'am. I'm trying to get to Misner's Lounge. I'm trying to get to Misner's Lounge.
This
I'm
sounds
nodding off.
really drunk.
I mean, all of this sounds amazing. Like,
Yeah.
I would go to any and every one of those bars.
This actually gives
mean-
you a reason to not get 5-day passes.
This gives me a reason to go to Disney World and not go to Disney World.
Yeah.
There's seriously so much to do there without going to those damn parks.
Yeah, you could save so much
I-
money.
I
You
don't
could
like
go for like
people.
7 days and only go to the parks for like 4. And you'd
Right.
be fine.
Go there for like one day.
Keeping in mind that staying at these resorts are like $600 a night.
Yeah, that's true.
This is another one that you can do at most of the Disney resorts in Disney World, and that is explore on a Surrey bike, which is a bike that can hold 4 people. And you all pedal and they
Dorks.
go around. So you'll see this a lot at the boardwalk. That's where they're probably the most popular, but you can also get them at Port Orleans, the Wilderness Lodge. A lot of the moderate and deluxe resorts have them. And they go around and you ride in them. Yes, Bev, I believe you have your hand up.
I do. I'm curious.
I believe you have your
and I'm not trying to be a fatty here because I'm living my best fitness life.
Mm-hmm.
But are these bikes motorized? Because Sam and I rented bikes in the deep south in the summer, and it was horrifying. So
I'm,
really
guess-
not trying
I'm
to
guessing
sweat like
they're
that.
not.
It is a
like,
little.
are they like mopeds?
No, so this basically
No,
looks
you all
like
pedal, Bev. The
It
man
kinda
literally
looks like
said.
it looks like a golf cart with no motor and
that.
instead,
Beverly.
instead pedals.
I'm sorry.
Stop it.
Oh We're gonna have to put a beep
I have
in.
to edit this now. Thanks. Now I have to do work.
What'd she
I
what?
apologize. I
Bev
apologize.
said the F word,
Jeez.
and this is a family podcast.
It is, and I'm very sorry.
But she was that
Deeply. I deeply regret my word choices, but I stand behind them.
My outburst is not reflective of who I am as a person. I feel like it's kind of a nerdy, like, I don't know, I would just scream nerds at everybody.
You would scream nerds at everyone?
Yeah, who was like riding the bike.
Oh, I thought you were going to get on the bike and then scream nerds.
The chat says that they should be reserved for Dapper Dans only. And that's true.
This would be me.
Oh my god.
Sorry.
Jeremy's like, oh my god.
This is
What
like
that?
Revenge of the Nerds.
this reminds me of the canoe ride where it's like I bet it's really fun, but also like is it
good
worth
parallel.
doing the work?
Terrence parallel parking, everybody, watch out.
I'm a really good parallel parker.
I love that canoe.
I do too. So maybe the bikes would be fine.
I do
I don't
too.
know. The chat also had a good idea,
Sorry,
Bev. Like you don't actually have
saw
to
that.
pedal. Just let everyone else pedal.
Yeah, but
See, the thing about bikes, excuse me, is you could just rest your feet on the pedals. And so as the pedals go up and down, your legs go up and down. So it looks like you're actually working until everyone else does it. And then you're
And
just
then you're
not.
just no,
And
the
then you're
bike's
going
not moving.
backwards.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Here's another interesting one. You can visit Cinderella's horses. The white horses that are used to pull Cinderella's carriage reside at the Tri-Circle D Ranch at Disney's Fort Wilderness Campground. While you're at the Fort Wilderness Campground, you can actually ride ponies, take a carriage ride, and also learn archery, among other activities. So and that's also where you can see the Hoop-Dee-Doo review. So here's my advice. If you have an afternoon and an evening to kill, go learn archery, ride a horse, visit Cinderella's ponies, and then finish it off by going over to the Hoop-Dee-Doo review. And if you get to the Hoop-Dee-Doo review early, go next door to Crockett's Bar and have a couple beers.
Nice.
You know, honestly, this
that sounds awesome.
this sort of more for the case of like staying on property, but like the lower level hotels,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
and then not buying park tickets for like 2 days, but then staying at like the Poly
Yeah, for the rest of the time.
for the rest of the time. So you kind of you offset the spend of the hotel,
Mm-hmm.
and you can go out and do all this other stuff.
But
that-
you're still on vacation.
you're still on vacation, and
You're
you don't
still
have to worry about we're wasting half a day.
I kind of love this idea.
Yeah, I actually like that a
of
lot.
like making the resort part of the reason you're going.
It's the
The
destination.
make it the destination.
Right.
Yes, it's about the
Yeah.
destination, not the journey. Wait, shoot.
Taryn,
I think you did that wrong.
it's not like we've been doing this show for 5 years.
I know. I'm sorry. It was
Taryn said the
it was
S
a,
word.
It was a Bev moment.
We're on a roll.
Call you butter.
There's two more under activities that I found. One is to take a culinary tour at Disney's Animal Kingdom Lodge. I didn't realize you could do this, but you can take a cookie decorating class.
What?
There's wine tasting offered at the restaurant Jaico, and there's a full culinary tour at
Jaisco.
Boma restaurants offered daily.
That's
Oh.
awesome.
A wine
So you-
is the wine tasting free?
Probably
he
not.
asks, knowing
No.
the answer
Yeah,
after he
no.
asked it.
No, it's not free.
Mm-mm.
I think the tour is complimentary if you're a resort guest. But the wine tasting and the cookie decorating, I believe that those are an additional fee.
At Gico.
Cookie decorating sounds really fun.
It actually does sound kind of fun.
I bet it's so cool at
Yeah.
Christmas time too.
It
Yeah.
doesn't say how much it is.
I,
too bad.
Jeremy, you're really coming through with this
Yeah,
with this
you're
topic.
you're
Like
making.
I really want to go.
It's almost
You
like
can go.
you did work.
Well, I don't want to get COVID, so I mean, it's
Well,
gonna
we're
be a
not
while.
gonna go right now, but no, stop. No, go back.
I have another one. Wait,
Okay.
are you doing something, Jason? Or
I'm looking at. I'm trying to
Oh.
find the pricing for the wine tasting, even though they're not doing it right now, which is why.
Just ask concierge after, and you can.
Yeah.
They'll
Yeah,
know.
that's a good idea. Ask concierge.
All right, go ahead, please.
So this is one that I like. This might be a little personal or it might not appeal to everyone. This involves getting off of park property.
Okay.
I like to go shopping at the Orlando and the Anaheim outlet malls.
Ah! No, I
Oh.
don't know. I think that's great.
Outlet malls are awesome.
I love an outlet
no,
mall,
the-
dude. That's
This is the right crowd to say you like
Yeah.
outlet malls.
That's where
I
get all
love an
my,
outlet mall, and where I live, where there aren't any within any closer than an hour drive, and a lot of people where I live don't even have a car, including me. So for me to go to Anaheim or to go to Orlando and be able to Uber 10 minutes to an outlet mall, I'm like that. Like that's happening.
Yeah. No, that's awesome.
yeah, that's
That's a
where
good idea.
That's where I got all my tracksuits. Is at the
Mhm.
outlet mall out here in Vacaville.
Dude, go right after Christmas. Everything has like the biggest sale ever.
Taryn bought a Coach bag for like 75% off.
It was amazing.
There you
The
go.
worst
Well,
decision I've ever made in my life was going to the outlets on Black Friday. I got there at midnight.
Oh God!
Wow.
It was horrible.
Even
I bet
just,
you ran
but it
into
was
some
so
really cool
fun.
people.
even just hearing it stinks.
Yeah.
Oh, I was like 25. It didn't matter, whatever.
Yeah.
But it was an experience, and I'll never do it again.
Fair.
well, I also frequently will forget one or two things when I get there. Like I forgot my sunglasses. Oh, I forgot my bathing suit. So it's like, I don't want to spend a lot, but I need something. So pop over to the outlet.
Nice.
And
love
then
it.
we have some feedback. So Karina wrote and said the Lego store at Disney Springs.
Oh, okay.
And of course, there is also one at Downtown Disney. And the additional piece of information here is that there's an open play area, so your kids, if they like Legos, could sit in there and play with the Legos for a while. It's an
Nice.
activity for them. So not just shopping, but they can actually do something there.
Cool.
And then I have another follower who's also a friend of mine, and his wise remark was simply go to Universal.
Oh, well, yeah.
So
Oh, Sam's one of your followers?
Hey, there's Harry Potter there. It's-
I support it.
yeah. Oh,
Okay,
and
so
there's a
let's
Bob
shift-
Marley restaurant there, by the way, which is amazing.
The Bob Marley restaurant is legit. We talked about it on our sort of like recap from our Disney World trip, but because we went to Universal, obviously, and they have these jerk chicken wings, and we had 3 orders of them, and the whole time, and it's like this really cool sort of like outdoor communal sort of like dining space. I think anyway, but the bar sort of offset from the center square, which is all outdoors. Anyway, it's weird, but on the TVs they're just playing live Bob Marley concert footage, and I'm a huge Bob Marley head. I love Bob Marley so much, and it was just really cool to just sit and have nothing to do, nowhere to go, nowhere to be, no
Too
fast
hot
pass,
there.
no nothing.
Yep.
Just sit and get disgustingly sick off of wings.
Yeah, it was amazing, and the drinks were great. Like,
The wings were overpriced though. It was $12. It was not, but they were great.
When you first walk
Yeah.
in, you're kind of like, I'm going to a Bob Marley restaurant. Like, this has got to be terrible, but it was so great.
was
I
fun.
highly recommend
It's a good time.
Universal.
So let's shift gears
Ooh.
Oh, what are we in
to
the car?
entertainment.
Okay.
Ah.
This is now all those are the things or stuff we have got to do, right? Like we've got to ride the horse, we got to bake the cookie. I want somebody else to do something now. So now we're gonna head over to Disney's Port Orleans Riverside Resort in the evenings and head to the River Roost Lounge for the musical stylings of Yeehaw Bob.
Oh. Yeah.
I love it.
I just,
Bob.
I, that's Sam. That's gonna be Sam soon. I mean, his retirement package is gonna be replacing Yeehaw Bob.
With the Yeehaw say he could do it.
Yeehaw, you really could.
We'll sell our business, and that's his retirement plan.
Yeehaw Bob's piano and singing repertoire includes Disney standards and songbook classics. Take a listen to a bit of Yeehaw Bob here, number
Oh.
1.
Oh,
Well, yeah.
It's like a Spectre time.
I know.
It's exciting.
I can't get away.
I hate it.
Well, I can't remember if I cried when I read about his widowed bride. Something touched me deep inside the day the music died. Sarah, Sarah, sitting on the shed house door. That's a shed, S-H-E-D. Sit right back in that rocking chair, I'll show you how it's done. Find a mountain, jump a run. Jumps in house to the rising sun. Picking up bread, pin, spinning up dough. Mom did a duck bite, no child know.
I'm obsessed with Bob.
I think Sam has too much, I don't know, something to not be able to do it at that level.
So say what you will about Bob, his piano skills are A+.
Yeah.
He's amazing. There's a lot of audience participation. He sounds a little like Harry Carey.
A little bit like Harry Carey, yes.
Hey.
If the moon was made of blue chain, would chain it?
Yeah, hey, if you could be a chord,
You
what
are
chord
hot
would you be? If you could be a key, if you could be a
that's
scale,
definitely a vibe.
Right?
if you could be a scale, what scale would you be?
Sarah.
I'd be Mixolydian scale.
He arranges the songs to work to fit him, to fit his skill set. That's
For
fine.
him. People sing along into the whole thing. It's
Great.
fantastic. It's a really
Love
good
it.
time and you can get drunk.
I think
Now,
he-
along these lines,
Yes.
if you happen to find yourself at Disneyland Paris
Oh.
and are looking for something to do outside of that park, as I have on occasion, a favorite of mine is heading to their beautiful Cafe Fantasia in the Disneyland Paris Hotel for a cocktail. And on select nights, you will hear the piano stylings of Gijs van Winkelhoff.
Oh.
Now, he is an amazingly talented pianist from the Netherlands. He knows a seemingly endless number of contemporary and Disney music, and he's able to play it all by ear. He
Yeah.
doesn't use music.
See, that's Sam.
That is Sam.
I'm
It
telling
is
you
Sam.
guys,
Sam can read music, but he also can just play by ear.
he's
That's
insane.
amazing.
He's an amazing, insane person.
You can basically name a song, and if he's heard it, he can pretty much play it. And for those of you who aren't going to find yourself in Paris anytime soon, fear not. He's been quite active on social media, entertaining us all throughout COVID-19. Take a listen to Gijs play his piano here, number 2.
Is that Tomorrow's Just a Dream Away?
No.
Oh. Well, he's all distorted, so he sucks.
What do you mean he's distorted?
I don't know. It sounded like too high. Anyway,
He was great.
what songs were they?
The first one was Soren.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
And then in there was Celebrate the Future Hand in Hand from Epcot. And
That's
the
what.
third was Happily Ever After from the Magic Kingdom, which I was playing earlier before we started recording on my recorder.
Oh.
Wow.
If you want to follow him, you can find him on Instagram at Gijs V Winkelhoff. It's spelled GIJSV WINKELHOF. Follow him. You will be entertained endlessly. He's got stories. He's got new videos every day almost.
Wow. That was that was cool. Also,
let's
that's
shift-
quite a name. Just
Oh,
saying.
it's a name.
I found him. And following.
He actually followed Ears Up on Twitter today because I was
Oh.
chatting with him. And I asked him if it would be okay to play his music on here.
Oh.
And then he said, well, I'll follow.
Oh, that's
Nice.
nice.
Yes, it is nice. Let's shift back over to Florida. And if you are a huge jock, such as myself, you will probably want to go to the ESPN Club at the Boardwalk Hotel. I have spent many a Sunday afternoon here watching football and watching my fantasy team get absolutely crushed. But it's a great
Such
place.
a
If you
jock.
are there, there's a game on, if you're a basketball fan, whatever, playoffs, great place to go and watch. It's huge. Eat some bad food and have fun there.
Love it.
And also, if you are at a Disney resort that is on the monorail line or the Wilderness Lodge, you can watch the predecessor to the Main Street Electrical Parade. It's an electrical parade on water. Disney's electrical water pageant makes the rounds around Bay Lake and the Seven Seas Lagoon every night. It performs for all the hotel guests. That is free. And then a few people have written in. Eric Michael says, I enjoy watching the fireworks from outside the parks. Good places are the Grand Floridian Marina, the beach at the Polynesian Village, the Yacht Club balcony. And Aaron says you can do a fireworks boat ride on the lagoon. So they offer a
Oh.
fireworks cruise.
That's nice.
You can have some drinks or dessert and go around and watch the fireworks from the water. Vince writes in and says, when I lived in San Diego, we used to drive up and spend the afternoon at downtown Disney in Anaheim and then have dinner and then catch a ride over to watch either an Angels or an Anaheim Ducks game.
It's a good idea.
So you can branch off, you can work Disney into just your general Anaheim trip.
Cool. I like that.
Now let's talk about what happens when the sun goes down.
Oh.
Hell yeah.
You can go to Kimonos, which is a Japanese sushi restaurant that offers karaoke every night at the Walt Disney World Swan and Dolphin Hotel.
Oh, boy.
The sushi there is amazing, but also you get to hear people sing. So that's just
You get to
great.
hear Jeremy
You get
from
to.
Spectra Radio sing.
Very frequently, yes.
I hate karaoke.
Oh, it's so fun.
I hate it too. It's the worst thing
you?
ever.
It makes me so uncomfortable just to watch. I don't. I never participate, but like just to watch it makes me so uncomfortable.
Honestly, I absolutely hated it until I was forced into it in Japan, and I have a whole new appreciation for it now, and I actually think it's very fun and cute. And who cares if you can sing? I mean, that's not the point. The point is to just get drunk and have
No, but it's
Yeah.
I don't know.
fun.
Oh, see, I love it so much. Like, I'm always like, can I put my name in now? Can I put my name in now?
What's your song? What's your go-to song, Jared? The number one song.
God, and
Who
need
let the dogs
one.
out?
Probably. It's it's an Elvis song. What is it?
Oh Jesus!
Wow.
Is it you'll-
Suspicious Minds?
Is it You'll Never Walk Alone? A Suspicious
Oh,
Mind.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that's my go-to.
All right.
Nice.
But you can take a quick walk over to the Boardwalk Hotel and go to the Atlantic Dance Hall, which is a video dance club that plays pop music from the 90s and the 2000s with a big video screen. And it's basically like a really big bar mitzvah or a wedding. Like it's a wedding, like it's like line dancing, like cha-cha slide, like
Oh,
all
wow.
of that.
So much.
It's just the greatest place
Oh,
on earth.
I would go there.
Oh heck yeah.
But if you don't want to do the dancing, you can walk across the boardwalk. A few steps away is the Jelly Rolls Dueling Piano Bar.
Oh, fun.
For a $15 cover, you can go in and watch two guys duel pianos and sing and drink beer. It's great.
That's fun.
Aaron writes in and says he enjoys relaxing night strolls around downtown Celebration and hanging at the bar, the Tavern. And also, this is sort of what Jason was saying before. Aaron also enjoys, he's a fan of resort hopping the 24-hour hot tubs with drinks.
Nice.
That's what you
I
do.
guess it's
That's what you do.
a hot tub crawl, which I've never done.
Sounds dirty.
People soup.
People soup.
Ew. I love it.
Well, that brings us to our final category of things to do: unique drinking and dining opportunities. We already have mentioned the first one, which is the Princess Tea at the Grand Floridian. They do 2 teas there. They do the princess themed one in the morning, and then they do a traditional tea in the afternoon. It sounds like you guys did the traditional.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that happens at the Garden View Tea Room at the Grand Floridian. Here's one. Where to get a Dole Whip when you're not in the park?
No. Don't do one.
It's possible.
No, but it should be impossible.
You can get it at the Disneyland Hotel with rum.
That's exactly right. At the Disneyland Hotel's Tangaroa Terrace, you can get a pineapple Dole Whip, either regular style, like in the park, or with rum. Over on the East Coast in Disney World, you can satisfy your slushy pineapple craving by heading to the Pineapple Lanai at Disney's Polynesian Village. You can also pick up one at Pop Century Resort. And if you happen to be at Disney Springs, you can get one at the Marketplace Snacks kiosk. So Dole Whips, you could do a Dole Whip excursion and get a Dole Whip without even going into the park.
I mean, it'd be a waste of a day, but go for it.
I never get one, but when I taste them, I do. I enjoy it.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I get them because I want to enjoy it, and then I take a bite and I'm like, oh yeah, that thing, I forgot it's gross.
Yeah, I feel like if
you still keep getting them.
If I would have known that, Jeremy, I don't think I would have ever invited you on the show.
Wait, so you still, Taryn, you still get them even though you've got this one over here, like.
No, probably not. I probably haven't
I'm
done it
surprised
since he
allows that.
I'll let her do. Oh, look, I will let her make whatever mistake she wants to make.
I am curious though about the Dole Whip that has like the juice in it, like where they put the pineapple juice on top of it. That one seems like
And
it
the
might not be
rum?
as bad. Well, yeah, obviously not the one at Disneyland, the rum one. I'm
Bring your own
curious
rum.
about it. It might not be bad.
I might try to make a homemade Dole Whip now that it's summertime.
Go to Pinterest; they're everywhere.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
It's never going to be good. It's never going to be as good. It's going to just be blended ice and pineapple juice. It's not going to.
Well,
Thanks,
if you have
Whip
a soft serve machine, like they sell like soft serve machines, then you could totally make it.
Oh, what if you
Buy a soft serve machine.
Machine.
Can you imagine buying a soft and you pull one Dole Whip, maybe two, and you're like, oh, I got to clean this thing out.
It's like
Yeah.
your milkshake makers.
Yeah, we have 2 of them. They had a Dole Whip machine in Hawaii when we went, and not even at the Disney resort, but like just in Hawaii.
It was the ABC store.
At the ABC store,
of
yeah.
The block, yeah.
Well, I did mean to mention that you can get them at Aulani, and you can also get them at Disney Vacation Club at their Hilton Head Island Resort as well. You can get
Oh.
them there.
Nice.
But let's move on from this topic because obviously it's divisive, to say the least.
Yeah.
Walt Disney World Swan and Dolphin Hotel each year. Now, this is not something you can do every day of the year. You can do it 2 days of the year, but it's a nice event that takes place there. Is the Food and Wine Classic. It happens for 2 nights each year in the fall. The restaurants of the Swan and Dolphin Resort, along with wineries from around the globe, come together for a food and wine event featuring food samplings from around the resort, along with live music and a festive atmosphere. Chef Todd English makes his appearance each year because he has a restaurant at the hotel. His Todd English's Blue Zoo seafood restaurant. Also on display are Shula's Steakhouse and New York Trattoria Il Molino, among others. It's a lovely night of food, wine, and merriment.
Sounds lovely.
From Eric, he writes in, I think we know who Eric is from Supreme Resort. He enjoys having a late night drink in a relaxing location like the patio of Dahlia's atop the Grand Destino Tower or outside of Trader Sam's.
Sounds very bougie.
Mercina writes in saying, we like to enjoy a few evening drinks and apps at the Wilderness Lodge outdoor bar lounge while watching the nighttime electrical water pageant and the Magic Kingdom fireworks. And the bar that she's referring to is the lakeside open air bar called Geyser Point, which opened 5 or 6 years ago there. Jen writes in and says, you know I love Tambu Lounge. In DL, I really love drinking at Ballast Point and then overspending at World of Disney.
I think she means overspending at Ballast Point and then really overspending at Disney.
And Libby writes in to buttress my earlier point, sushi at Kimonos before waltzing down the boardwalk and into the International Gateway to go to Epcot. So
Nice.
she can't quite tear herself out of the park. She didn't
No,
listen to
I
the
guess
full
not.
question. So that is my list of things to do at the parks when you aren't in the parks.
That was excellent.
Very good, Jer.
That really
And if you
was.
want
That made me like want to go to Florida more.
Me too, and not for the parks at all.
I
Branch out. Well, if you want the full comprehensive list, it should be posted on spectroradio.us probably before this show is posted. So
Dang.
Wow. Hopefully you will link
Sick
to this
burn.
show from your website, Jeremy.
well, no, I mean usually it's like you don't
No,
post it right away, like
I
a day
know.
or two. So
But I mean, hopefully you'll go back and backlink when I do
Well,
get
yeah.
it.
Oh, of course.
You want to do some news, you guys?
Sure.
I got a little bit of Disney news, and then we'll go. We'll go. We've already been an hour and a half. I'm gonna take a break because I have to go pee pee.
Okay.
Oh,
I have-
good. I'm gonna get more rosé.
I have to dispose of urine
I wish I had rose.
into the pee pee. Okay, hold on.
Hi, Terrence.
If he wants to, if he's in the chat,
Mm-hmm.
you can tell him to call in if he wants.
I'm telling him to join.
Oh, yeah, you can call in. We're about to do news for like 10 minutes, hopefully. We haven't had dinner. I'm really hungry.
I'm super hungry.
I also have to pee, but I'm not going to.
Same.
I wonder if women have bigger bladders.
Probably.
Yeah. Because it seems like just growing up, I remember my dad always had to pee, but like everybody else was fine.
Or maybe we just function in a constant state of dehydration.
That's for sure. I don't remember the last time I had water.
It's the only reason I know. This is the only water I've had. No, that's not true. I had water earlier, but not nearly.
I
enough.
just have fizzy water. Like I need to drink real human being water, not just like fizzy waters constantly. But I have a fizzy water so that I don't have a beer. It's just like it's stupid because I'm like, oh, I just want something fizzy.
But it's just water. I mean, right? It's
Yeah.
still hydrating.
Yeah, it's fine, I guess.
I hate a fizzy water. It's like
What?
not. It's not quenching.
Oh, it's the best. I mean, except
No,
for alcohol.
With a real bad hangover, a fizzy water is the way to go.
Oh,
Yep.
really? With a hangover?
Yeah, because it gets you that bubbly in your tummy.
Huh. Oh yeah.
There's
I guess it
something
would be
about
like
it.
drinking a Diet Coke, but not a Diet Coke.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Diet Cokes give me headaches. I drank them for a
Cokes
while.
taste nasty.
I couldn't drink them anymore.
Whoa.
I don't drink any soda except for soda water.
I don't really either. I'll drink ginger beer when
Mm,
I'm drinking
that's kind of good.
alcohol with it. But
Yeah. But yeah, like I think that like I realized at some point that all I wanted was bubbles, and so I didn't need a soda. I just needed bubbles with water.
we
It's
bought a
perfect.
soda stream to like use less plastic, but we still seem to buy the same amount of plastic.
Yeah, my aunt has one, and like they're fine, but like I don't know. You just want to grab a can. If you pour yourself like a glass of like Soda Stream, fizzy water, it doesn't replace the beer
And
that
it's
you're
not
gonna
as
have.
cold. Like I like it cold.
Yeah. I don't know. Anyway,
You ready?
Sure.
sure.
Is Terrence calling in or is he not?
He said, "Give me a sec."
Sorry, Terrence. My life doesn't revolve around your timeline.
Is he
Uh,
calling in or is he just dialing in?
I don't know, man. Who cares? Let's go.
Okay.
March in the past, present, and
It's
future
normal.
with all the news that's
Yeah, you
fit
haven't
to
been
cover.
here.
It's the Ears Up
It got
Disney
fixed.
News.
Fast.
It's the Hoopty Hoo review. Wait, stop. Stop. Okay.
Oh, I thought it was ending.
No.
I got
not
excited.
ending. Never ending. So I think we've talked about this. I know we talked about it, Jeremy, on Ears Up in Depth a couple eps ago. But you know they're going to post, or they're going to start doing NBA and MLS, which is Major League Soccer, at the Orlando parks in the ESPN, whatever it is, right?
Cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
At ESPN Wide World of Sports.
There you go.
It's
The
where us
wide.
jocks go to pick up our race packets for Princess Half.
Nice.
That's right. That's right. So you're all too familiar with this area of the park. But apparently, there's an MLS a tournament that kicks off next week, or maybe it's this week. This is a little bit old. This is from the 1st, so it's kicking off this week. And the NBA is slated to arrive later this month. Disney World is already home to a fresh coronavirus cluster. Yay!
It's a cluster?
Yeah, almost immediately upon arrival, 6 Dallas players tested positive at the Central Florida Resort bubble. So apparently they come in, they're in a bubble, they get tested, and then they get released into the resort, is what I'm assuming is happening. And so the Dallas club has actually withdrawn. What I've read, the count was like 10 people from the Dallas club have tested positive. And so Dallas has pulled out of the tournament. And allowing that to go on. In a press release, MLS trumpeted its handling of the outbreak, noticing that the players in question had been quickly quarantined with remote health monitoring arranged for each man. Apparently, they're just a little bit, freaked out about it. Here's the important part, which seems to have gotten lost in the league's self-congratulatory wash. Only 2 of the 6 players tested positive on the day of the squad's arrival. The remaining 4 people spent 2 days among the hotel's general population. So they were bound to a particular floor, right? So apparently these teams have rented out the floors, right? But they're out of quarantine, so they can bounce around the floors and do whatever, but they just can't leave the floor in relatively close quarters with teammates. So this article says, put in practical terms, over the next few days, more positive tests are likely to emerge in and around Disney's Swan and Dolphin Resort Complex. So that's where I get the 10 from. So when the team arrived, only 2 people tested positive, and then a few days later, another 8.
Dang.
So this sort of speaks to the asymptomatic spread that we've sort of been talking about it, forever. But
well, I want to know if people there. I want photos. Are people wearing masks at the Swolfen or not?
at the Swolfen,
Yeah.
is that what it's called? Is that what the hip people call it?
Well, if you're cool, Swolfen, Swan and Dolphin.
If you're
It's a
cool-
portmanteau.
If you're cool or drunk.
Yeah, I want to know if are they requiring masks in there?
I don't know. I don't know that. The only sort of like sport reference that I have is watching Premier League soccer, where none of the players have masks, but the refs and some of the coaches do, but a lot of the treatment staff, the medical staff, when they come onto the field for whatever, they have masks on. So I don't know,
Well,
but I also imagine they're getting tested daily or every other day or at least weekly.
Well, I want to know if people are required to wear masks in the public areas of the Swolfen. Like if you are in a lobby, if you're in the elevator, do you have to have a mask on?
Well,
you should.
I mean, is the Swolfen open to the public? I mean, if they have NBA teams staying there, buying out the floors, I can imagine that maybe that resort is sort of just for players.
It sounded to me like you said that they have certain floors
They're restricted.
reserved, and that
Yeah.
but they're amongst the general population.
They're amongst other teammates. Yeah.
So the ones that were tested weren't necessarily symptomatic. You think they're just testing everybody?
I guess. Yeah. It sounds like when they come in to the resort, everybody gets tested. So these people
And then tested again.
apparently, yeah. I don't know. It's weird. It's a weird timeline. Speaking of, again, the bubble at the resort, NBA players are going to receive access to unreleased Disney movies while they're hanging out in the COVID bubble. Yeah. The NBA is putting the finishing touches on its return to play plan, which in the remainder of the season will be played in a bubble at Disney World. As Disney does its best to accommodate the league, they're offering some sweet perks to players and their families. I guess it makes sense if you're you're a child or a spouse of an NBA player that's going to be there for, I don't know, a couple months. I don't know. Who knows? One of those perks, according to Yahoo Sports, Kevin Smith is giving players and their families access to unreleased Disney films. Here's the tweet. Per Walt Disney World sources, Disney will make movies available for players and their families. This is likely to include movies that have not been released to the general public, including the Marvel's Black Widow, which is the new Scarlett Johansson. John, yeah, for sure. 22 teams invited to Orlando will begin mandated workouts on July 1st, so it's a little bit late. Which films are ready for early release is not clear, but Disney sounds like it's pulling out all the stops to entertain the players and their families during their stay.
Hey, LeBron, how'd you like Maleficent 3?
Spoiler alert, she's rude, but you kind of love her.
Brian in the chat says that they also brought in extra large beds for the NBA players.
I mean, I can imagine.
I hope that that's true.
Yeah,
because they need them.
I would probably feel short
which
in
is
that
weird.
area. Not to Scottie Pippen, I guess, but he doesn't play anymore. So here's a follow-up from a story that we've talked about a couple times on this show. A federal judge ruled in favor of Walt Disney World in an ongoing court case where a disability advocate sued the company so that her son, who has autism, could earn immediate access to rides at the theme park.
We've had great discussions about this.
I know. And
I think mostly on The Secret Show.
Yeah, and I think the general consensus was, what else can Disney do?
Right.
You have a time that's slotted to return. If your child can't handle that, I'm very sorry, but like, what can they do?
Yeah,
Can't
you
do
can't
anything.
shut down the park for
because
one
they
kid.
had a system, but then that system was taken advantage of, so they had to tighten the reins or whatever. And
Gotta tighten the reins, man. So here's a timeline real fast. In 2014, Donna Lorman, president of the Autism Society of Greater Orlando, sued Disney, saying she wanted 10 passes to the Magic Kingdom for her son who has autism to ride his favorite rides. With these passes, her son should be able to go right into the Fast Pass line. The Orlando Sentinel said otherwise her son had to get an advance reservation to come back later. The extra waiting was hard for her son, who didn't understand the concept of time, his mother said, accusing the parks of not accommodating his disability, which is incorrect already because they did accommodate. You don't have to wait in line. What you do on your own time, I'm assuming that your child's day is not full of activities nonstop. There has to be a break at some point. So how do you deal with that otherwise? Disney can't solve everybody's problem as much as we pay them to do it. But Disney argued it isn't required to provide unlimited front-of-line passes for every ride under the Americans with Disabilities Act. Otherwise, the general public in the standby lines would have to wait longer. U.S. District Judge Ann Conway agreed with Disney, saying the mother's request was unreasonable. Requiring the modification based on the history of the former system would lead to fraud and overuse, lengthen wait times significantly for non-disabled guests, and fundamentally alter Disney's business model. And that's correct. So this person lost. And, I tend to agree. Like you said, we've talked about it before. What else are they going to do? They can't do everything for everybody. They can't. Right.
I mean, it's kind of like the food thing. Like, okay, you go to the park and you're vegan and you have 3 food allergies. Well, then you're going to have to bring your own food.
Yeah.
And they allow you to do that.
Right.
Mickey and Minnie's Runaway. Why is everything complicated to say? Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. I don't like that.
I don't really like it either.
It sounds hard.
I don't think I like the ride. I haven't even been on it. So.
I don't like the name. The Runaway because if you say it too fast, you sound drunk. Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway is the newest attraction at Disney Hollywood Studios, but after being open for less than 2 weeks, Walt Disney World closed due to the coronavirus pandemic, of course, which I've never heard of, but I should look at that a little bit more. Now the Walt Disney World theme parks are set to reopen starting July 11th with Magic Kingdom Park and Disney's Animal Kingdom theme park, and July 15th. So apparently... Is it now open just for cast member previews? I think that's what it is, right?
No, Jeremy said 2 parks are open.
I know, but this article is saying starts July 11th. Today's the 9th.
Right. And but I said Hollywood Studios is not open today.
Yeah,
That's the one that opens
on
later.
the 11th.
Right, but this person is saying starting July 11th with Magic Kingdom and Disney's Animal Kingdom.
Well,
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. It's
there
so
was
confusing.
a cast member preview, but no. Oh, so this week I think there was a cast member preview, and then there was AP preview.
Ugh.
Oh yeah, today was AP preview. I think
Ugh.
it opens
Right,
to the
but I mean,
full
to me,
public
that's
on-
open.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
You're
there's
right.
enough people. Yeah.
You're
Their website
Yeah.
is open Saturday, July 11th to everyone.
Okay, perfect. Well, we got that squared away. I feel better about that now. The
Right.
attraction, which uses the same ride system as Star Wars Rise of the Resistance, but apparently doesn't close down as often, features Mickey and Minnie on an adventure to have the perfect picnic when Goofy comes along and things don't go quite as planned. Yada, yada, yada. Here's the point of the story. The first iconic sound that you might recognize while on the ride comes from, and this is spoiler alert, so if you really care about this ride, sorry. The first sound you might recognize while on the ride comes from Goofy's train whistle, which happens to be the same whistle from the Walt Disney animated classic cartoon Steamboat Willie. Charita Carter, a Walt Disney Imagineer, said of the whistle and some of the other sounds in the ride, quote, "As a design team, we were able to use sound effect equipment and tools from the Walt Disney archives to create some of the sounds you hear throughout the attraction." So I thought that was really cool, and mainly why I was reading this article, because they're using objects from the archives and sound clips from the archives to like replicate these sounds of this classic Mickey Minnie. Because what are they saying? It's like the first Mickey Mouse
It's the first
ride,
it's
right?
First, yeah, that he's been in.
I thought it was kind of cool. Walt
Yeah.
Disney Imagineer Kevin Rafferty, who led the team for Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, said that some of the sounds were created by Jimmy McDonald, who was the original Foley artist for Walt Disney Animation. While working on the attraction, Rafferty and his team trekked to the archives to dig up some of old McDonald's contraptions to create the sounds you hear in the background of Mickey's Runaway Railway. We knew
Wow.
early on we wanted to ride to be based on a song, said Christopher Wills, who
You
wrote
need to
the
stop.
attraction's earworm of a song.
Wow.
Where's the sound for Mickey Mouse cartoon? Anyway,
I'm done.
thanks, man. Anyway, I thought that was cool. So when you ride that ride, you can think about the Foley artists and sort of they're dipping into the past to make the present sound cool.
That's cool.
As much as crap as we've talked about, why are they CG animating? I want back to hand-drawn animation. Like, I don't know. I think it's kind of neat.
Yeah,
It's neat.
All right, let's. We're done, right?
we're done. Yeah,
I think we're done.
we did good.
Wow.
How time flies.
Yeah.
All right. I need to fix my soundboard. Anyway, thanks everybody for listening. Thank you, Jeremy, for all your hard work. I really appreciate that. It was a good show.
Very good.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Loved it.
I'm
Loved
looking-
doing it.
I'm looking forward to going to Florida in 4 years after the nuclear fallout from. That's the only way we're going to get rid of anything. Just
3 years.
wipe it off.
We're still going on my 40th.
Yeah, and thank you to the Walt Disney World Family, or the Walt Disney Family Museum, and Tracy Timmer for talking to us a little bit about how they're going to celebrate Disneyland's 65th anniversary on July 17th. So go to waltdisney.org, follow them on social media, get all the updates, sign up for their newsletter, all that kind of fun stuff. It's a good time. It sounds really great. And thank you, of course, to the 21st Amendment. Do not forget to ask for the 21st Amendment beers wherever you find good craft beer, like DCA. Hopefully. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, thanks a lot, everybody. And until next time, we'll see you in the parks.